Thank you very much. Good evening. I see that, the room is slowly getting to be empty. People are tired. But good evening, and thank you for being here with us late at this hour. In absentia, I would like to recognize His Excellency President Macky Sall, the President of the Republic of Senegal and Chair of the African Union, who has been really a passionate leader, and his dedication and truly his leadership of the African Union is unparalleled, I should say. I would also like to recognize the Prime Minister, the former Prime Minister of Ethiopia, my own brother who is here, who is passionate about agriculture. He's devoted his life into environmental conservation, but also on agriculture development. And thank you very much for being here and for all your leadership. I would like to extend in absentia also my appreciation to His Excellency President Akumi Adesina of the African Development Bank, who gave this passionate speech and very inspiring message this morning, and all the heads of government, and I shouldn't forget my boss, His Excellency Musa Faki Mahamat, Chairperson of the African Union Commission, and all the young ones who are there, respected farmers, development partners. I've seen some of the captains of business and foundations. All of you, good evening. I think for me to take this floor, I take it with great honor and gratitude. I should admit that the conversations this morning and this afternoon have been for me enriching and encouraging. Thank you to all presidents and all the ministers for your open, candid, and frank appreciation of the situation and your resolve to do better and to do it differently. However, before I reflect on the issue at hand and share our experiences as the sole and only development agency of the African Union in combating the silent crisis, I would like to remind ourselves of the many commitments to end hunger. My ardent hope is that this declaration would not suffer the same fate as the many before. From Maputo to Malabo to Dakar to Kenya, where have we not been? We have been promising our farmers, our women, our youth, and we've said that we will commit 10% of our GDPs to implement the Comprehensive Africa Agriculture Development Program, the CADEP, costed at that time to be $251 billion, to be spent over 10 years, 2015 to 2025, and use this program as a way to promote interventions that best respond to the emerging food crisis and to end hunger. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, with a little less than 2 years away from the CADEP targets of 2025, 7 years away from SDG 2030, and 40 years away from Agenda 2063, we are running out of targets. We are running out of promises, and we are running out of time. It's not conferences and summits that the people of Africa need. They need decisive action, implementation, and we need to follow through on the promises we have made. Excellencies, COVID-19 and the Russia-Ukraine war have simply exposed the gravity of the impact of inaction. we have witnessed the negative impacts of our unfulfilled promises in all facets of human development, from health to education and to social well-being. We know that there will be future shocks, and we need to increase our efforts tenfold to resolve past deficiencies and current problems, but most importantly, to prepare and respond to future shocks. Forecasts have shown that if we do not take action, the vicious cycle of vulnerability, undernutrition, and poverty will not only be perpetuated, but aggravated. Excellencies, more than 200 million Africans will be undernourished by 2043, and this will have long-term negative effects on their health, education, and productivity. Furthermore, if we follow the current path, the trade deficit of $64 billion, which we're talking today, will increase fourfold to $652 billion by 2043. With the slow growth in agricultural yield, we will import more than a third of our food consumption by 2038 if we do not act today. These are the harsh realities we will face if we continue to divert our energy and focus away from the burning issues facing this sector. The theme of our gathering, Unleashing Africa's Food Potential, is therefore a clarion call to shift our attention to issues of implementation and actualize our capabilities to deliver both immediate, medium, and long-term transformation results. Here in Dakar last year, we convened 33 African states, 4 regional economic communities, and various partners to reflect on the post-Malabo CAADP. Based on the outcomes of our consultation meetings and from the CAADP biennial reviews over the last 8 years, it is clear that the continent needs to do much more and scale up investment and accelerate the pace in delivering on its commitment to transform agriculture and food systems. Our gathering today offers us yet again an opportunity to reflect on why we are failing Africa and not delivering on our promises. I challenge us all to move beyond the rhetoric of what needs to be done, as priorities are already stipulated in many documents, and to cast our efforts to harnessing necessary resources, including intellectual capabilities, technological management, and business skills, as well as locally adapted institutional capabilities and alignment for optimal and cost-effective impact. Let's invest in agriculture production, productivity, and agricultural value chains. We need to strengthen systemic capacities in all our structures, both vertically and horizontally. We need a holistic and integrated approach which positions agriculture and food issues as cross-cutting priority for all. To this end, for example, we need the ministers of education to be here to elevate agricultural studies in our curriculums at the basic level of education all the way to tertiary. We need to encourage our young people to view farming as a viable form of employment. Yes, you're right, Tion. You said it right. Similarly, we need ministers of finance to be part of the agriculture and food systems discussions. They need to guide us on the budgets and investments needed to help us realize the results envisaged by the CAADP Malabo, and also today's Feed the Future initiative. We need all the ministers to be working towards this goal. We need an integrated approach. Your Excellencies, as our NEPAD and as articulated by my brilliant brother, the ADB president. Our experiences have shown us that it is possible, and Ethiopia has shown us that it is possible to change. To change the development trajectory of Africa and charter a different course for our food systems. But we need to implement the instruments and frameworks which already exist, even if we need to review and revise them. Multiplicity of instruments and frameworks will not resolve the problem. Beyond the government, ladies and gentlemen, and development partners, we need to develop and strengthen partnership with the private sector, as they are the drivers of economy. And we all understand that agriculture and food systems are the backbones of the economy, which they drive. Under Grow Africa, the African Union Development Agency, NEPAD, has supported 12 countries: Benin, Burkina Faso, Cote d'Ivoire, Ethiopia, Ghana, Kenya, Malawi, Nigeria, Mozambique, Rwanda, Senegal, and Tanzania, to accelerate the private sector investment in agriculture and food security and deliver the commitments set by the heads of state. But this is not enough. We need to strengthen the backward and forward linkages and the supply and value chains in countries under the framework of the national investment plans of the CADEP and across countries within the framework of the African Free Trade Area. Additionally, through the Energize Africa initiative, which we launched in 2022, just last year, we will empower and mobilize the youth to feed Africa, to venture in farming and make money, to multiply Theon 100 million times. Theon, we are going to clone you. Excellencies, I am convinced this summit is part of the necessary efforts to galvanize desired political will and action, and our NEPAD stands ready to support member states hand in hand with all the other partners, AGRA, ADB, and others, many others, leveraging on existing efforts, systems, and capacities. J'aimerais terminer mon intervention en remerciant très sincèrement le président de la République du Sénégal, son Excellence Président Macky Sall, pour l'accueil très chaleureux au Sénégal. Mes remerciements vont également au président de la Banque africaine de développement, son Excellence Monsieur Adesina. J'aimerais aussi exprimer ma profonde gratitude et reconnaissance au président Fakiye Mahamat pour ses efforts inlassables pour le développement de l'Afrique. Et je n'oublierai pas de remercier les chefs d'État et présidents de l'Afrique, ainsi que l'ensemble des participants ici présents pour vos engagements et l'appui soutenu au développement du secteur de l'agriculture et le développement en Afrique. Yes, Africa should feed itself. Yes, Africa will feed its population, which will constitute 1/4 of the world's population by 2050. Yes, Africa will rise and feed the world as we move from talking to walking the talk. I would like to conclude by inviting all the heads of states that are here and governments, our investors and partners to the forthcoming Dakar Infrastructure Financing Summit, and I do this on my own behalf as the CEO of the AUD and NEPAD, but also on behalf of the President of the Republic of Senegal, who is the chair of the AU and the chairperson of the EU Commission. And this summit will take place just next week, 2 to 3 February, in the same hall. And really, it's important that you all participate. To feed Africa, we need infrastructure. Without infrastructure, we cannot really feed Africa. Therefore, infrastructure is fundamental and foundational, and your presence, our discussions and conversations on how to develop infrastructure in Africa as the most fundamental aspect of development is critical and important. But most importantly, we need your expertise, we need your competence, and we need your investment, we need your money. Thank you very much.